former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who was also the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 presidential election, has reportedly rejected calls to step down in favor of a Southern presidential candidate in 2027, insisting that he will not abandon his constitutional right to aspire. Now, his assertion, as was reported in the media, has thrown the coalition into confusion because in Nigeria's unwritten rotational presidency arrangement, the presidency rotates between North and South every 8 years. That was why, after 8 years of President Muhammad Buhari, the power has to return to the South in 2023. Muhammad Buhari was president between 2015 and 2023. And it is believed under that arrangement that the presidency will remain in southern Nigeria between 2023 and 2031. In other words, the presidency right now is zoned to the south. But Atiku Abubakar, it was reported, said that he's not going to concede his ambition to zoning. That would be a violation of his constitutional right. According to the report, Atiku made this known after a closed-door meeting with leaders of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, which is the vehicle, if you like, that the coalition of opposition parties want to use to oust President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027 general election. According to the report, Atiku emphasized on the need for open and transparent primaries. Open and transparent primaries. The report indicated that Atiku emphatically declared, and I quote, "I will not be pressured into abandoning my constitutional right to aspire. Let every qualified member test their popularity through a credible primary. Zoning must not be used to silence competence. Zoning must not be used to silence competence." According to the report, this declaration of Atiku has sparked fierce protests from members of the obedient movement who are loyal to the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, Peter Obi, who are insisting that Peter Obi is the only acceptable candidate for the coalition. Already, the obedient movement has declared that if Atiku insists on contesting, they will pull out of the coalition. According to the obedience, it is either Obi or we pull out. Now, this development, of course, is not palatable to the ears of those who want to use the coalition as a political tool to dismantle the APC. Because what it means is that the coalition may collapse even before it begins. That's the danger of Atiku's continued ambition to contest when it was not, or it is not the turn of the North to produce the president. But Atiku himself, to be fair to him, Atiku has issued a statement denying that he never said that he has never been pressured to step down for a certain candidate. He said he has never been pressured, that he's never attended any meeting, and that these are propaganda by the APC administration led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That was what his media team are saying. The media team of Atiku is saying that this is propaganda from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's APC government. But Atiku also has a history of not allowing zoning to determine his fate. That was the reason why PDP is in crisis today. That PDP is in crisis today is because of the ambition of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Nyesom Wike. That is at the root of the mess that PDP has become today. The ambition of Atiku and Nyesom Wike. And it is tied to zoning. It is tied to zoning. Ahead of 2023 presidential election, after 8 years of Muhammadu Buhari, it was common knowledge that the power will go to the south. But instead of allowing power to go to the south, and southeast in particular, which has never had the presidency since 1999, Atiku Abubakar and Nyesom Wike, their ambition to contest was what led PDP to what it is today. Even though we understand that the rotation is between north and south, southeast was the most preferred zone for fairness, justice, and equity. That was why you can see that southeast was supported to be the zone that should produce the president in 2023. That was why you see Ohaneze, Afenifere, Middlebelt Forum, PANDEF, all these social-cultural organizations endorse a Southeast presidential candidate. Unfortunately for the country, the candidate they endorse remains the best material for Nigeria to this day. Of course, that candidate was also the candidate that Nigerians voted overwhelmingly for. But he was rigged out. So, at that time, Atiku Abubakar and Nyesom Wike, they engineered what led to the throwing open of the presidential contest. Instead of zoning it to the south, they threw it open. And the party paid a price. The party is in tatters right now, the PDP. It is no longer arguable that PDP may not even have a presidential candidate in 2027. All thanks to Atiku Abubakar in particular and Nyesom Wike. Why did I say Atiku Abubakar in particular? Because Atiku Abubakar, if he had not thrown himself into the ring and say he will contest, if he had allowed a certain candidate to emerge, perhaps PDP will not be in the sorry state that it is today. So it is because of Atiku Abubakar's penchant to contest, to enforce his rights, that this kind of story is coming out. I saw the report on Business Day and other places. So there is no smoke without fire, even though they have denied it. But the recent history of Atiku Abubakar shows that he has scant regard for zoning, following through to zoning. Because if he does, he wouldn't have been held responsible for the reason why zoning collapsed in PDP and why the party is the way it is. Of course, when you listen to Yes Weekend, one of the reasons he has given for justifying his support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was because Atiku Abubakar violated the zoning arrangement by insisting that he will contest, even when the presidency ought to be in the South. Of course, we know that Yeso Wike himself he didn't act altruistically. It wasn't an altruistic pursuit. This is because there were those who said that Yeso Wike only began to talk about that, insist on Southern Nigeria producing the president after he lost out from being picked as vice presidential candidate to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. But whatever may be the case, what happened in PDP, how Atiku insisted on contesting it in 2023 is the reason why you can have this kind of story that Atiku said he's not ready to, that he's not going to step down, that he's going to enforce his constitutional right to contest. Constitution did not bar him from contesting. After all, zoning, as you and I know, is a gentleman's arrangement. You can decide not to be a gentleman and violate the agreement. Of course, throughout our history, whenever you see the violation of this arrangement, there's always a problem. Look at what this country passed through because of Jonathan. To ensure that Jonathan was out, Boko Haram became an issue. Now Jonathan is out, Boko Haram is still there. Because it is easy to light a fire, but you don't know where the fire is going to end. What was the issue? The issue of contestation for power. The consequence of not obeying the rotation led to what the kind of insecurity we are seeing in Nigeria today. We also have a situation where PDP is almost in tatters. Okay, PDP is almost dead. Why is PDP in this sorry state? It is because of violation of zoning. So if ADC want to survive, ADC better make it known now that the presidency must remain in the South. The presidential candidate of ADC must come from the South, and let it come from the best material from the South. If they follow the PDP example and throw it open, where dollar will determine the candidate, 2027 will be a walk in the park, especially at a time when there's no effort being made to reform the INEC, to rejig the Electoral Act or to amend the Electoral Act to ensure that those flaws that led to APC rigging the elections since 2019 and 2023 effortlessly, that those loopholes are blocked. It will be a walk in the park for APC. But I know that if the right candidate is chosen, if Peter Obi is in the ticket and the loopholes in the Electoral Act blocked, like Erufai said, If election is held today and it is free and fair, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be lucky to get third position. I strongly agree with Erufai in that assertion. But that can only be possible when the right candidates emerge to challenge Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I don't know what you think about Atiku Abubakar's alleged assertion that nobody can force him to step down for a certain candidate, insisting that he will insist on his right to contest, because you and I know that the Constitution allows every Nigerian who is qualified to contest for president. What is the future of ADC with Atiku insisting on contesting and the obedience warning that once Obi is not in that ticket, they will pull out? What is the fate of the coalition in this kind of scenario? Whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.